Hi, Zizaran here with another video, and this is featuring my older brother. It was one of the sub goals you guys hit a while ago, and I've been pretty bad, but I wanted to make sure that I actually did it. It was an interview with my brother, so I grabbed a bunch of questions from my chat that I've written down, and he lives in Thailand, so obviously our time zones are a little screwed, but I managed to secure an interview with my brother. That's what we're gonna do here today. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, it's so I mean, I just have some basic questions before we do the ones from my chat. How old are you?
Oh, great.
Yeah, tell them how old you are. This is
Great.
important.
I'm 46. It hurts to say that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I
I
mean, you
get a
don't look.
retirement visa here in 4 years. That's how bad it is. It's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, you don't look that old. You look like 40, 35-ish. You probably look better than me.
There's no competition here. I think
I thought you were about to say no comment. And I mentioned at the start you live in Thailand. How long have you lived in Thailand?
20 years.
That's crazy. What made you move to Thailand? Did you move there for a thing?
Um, I think I'm a climate refugee. I mean, I think when I was like 20 years old, I looked for universities. I Googled. I think it was Alta Vista back then, but I mean, I Googled, it's a verb. Yeah, I Googled best weather in the world when I was like 20, and I moved to Australia because apparently Brisbane has the most sunny days per year. I hated the cold weather. I was never a fan of that. And I spent 3 years in Brisbane studying film, TV, digital media. And yeah, it was great. But Brisbane was a bit boring, and I had a yogi friend that had a bunch of yogis in Bangkok, and
What's a
he said,
yogi?
uh, "They're basically like a monk, the yogic monks, Indian yogic
Okay.
monks, and these guys lived in a house, like 10 of them, in Bangkok." And I just came and knocked on the door, and I was like, "Okay, can I stay with you guys?" So you're there. I was like staying with all these guys, wearing orange, meditating a lot, and it was pretty strange, but fun. And then they took me to this children home that was run by this Norwegian woman and this Italian woman, and they're fantastic. And I did a documentary, and then I came back, and I made some friends here, and then one thing led to the other. So when I graduated, I just kind of came here. I worked in news, I worked in TV, documentaries, I worked a bit in music, but I worked as a journalist for a long time.
What are some cool movie stuff you worked on?
Well, I worked on like really weird movies mainly. Well, not that kind of movies, but I worked on some Icelandic independent films. That was great. Like some really sort of niche Icelandic films about everything from ladyboys to like psychopathic school teachers.
Wow.
It was fun. I also worked a bit in music here. So, but then I founded my own company about 6 years ago, and now I'm kind of still doing that.
Yeah, because you invent things, right?
I got sick of just kind of filming things, and I wanted to build a real company, and so we put some ideas together, took them on Kickstarter, and it worked. So we funded. I think we've done nine campaigns so far.
Yeah, I've showed off like the air deck, especially a few times on stream, and people have like asked for links and stuff like where they can buy it. So that's been cool. Hashtag ad because it's my brother, so I think that counts.
Yeah, our main product now is the bags we do. We do the lightest bags in the world. So
yeah, it's very cool.
The most practical bags in the world. I can show one.
Sure,
I'll shamelessly like plug myself. So
yeah,
they're really they disappear in your pocket, and they're pretty cool.
Yeah, my brother gets free advertisement. That seems fair.
20-gram bag.
And they're called the Nano Bag, right? Nanobag.com?
Yes.
Cool. What about, do you miss anything from Norway? Like, you've lived away for a long time, even longer than me.
Well, I mean, obviously family. I mean, I'm pretty close to my parents, grandparents. So obviously family. I think uncles and aunts as well. I spent a lot of time with them growing up. Um, I think that's what I miss the most. And I have a few friends that I still, keep in touch with.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've had an amazing time here in Thailand. It's been really, Norway's pretty boring. And
And
Brisbane is
cold.
kind of a little bit better, but it's still boring. So what I loved about, I spent 18 years in Bangkok, and it's like a pressure cooker. Like there's so much entropy. You kind of need entropy for interesting things to happen, right? And Bangkok, there's so much going on, and everything is so immediate. So,
Mm.
I mean, you walk out your house, you jump on a motorbike, you tell them where to go, you pay them $1, and then you're somewhere else. And, there's no other city where you have that immediacy. And
Yeah.
also just uh, a friendly price point, right? Like you can go out and spend some money without breaking the bank, and you can eat like a king, right? Like Bangkok has 3,000 restaurants, and just some interesting people. Like you go to Hong Kong, Singapore. I love Asia, but it's all about money. It's all about finance. But in Bangkok, you find the artists, the poets, and like a lot of interesting people with interesting stories. And I think I met, people from almost every corner of the world there. It's like one of these world capitals. And I think that's what I really love about Bangkok, just the richness. It's so dense, and it's super safe for a 10, 15 million people person city.
Yeah.
And you have this crazy immediacy. Like it's almost like magic. You go out and you can kind of choose your experience. I haven't found that anywhere else in the world. It may be New York, but except it's like, 10 times more expensive
Yeah.
and more dangerous.
Yeah, I was gonna say a
Uh,
bit more crime too. That's
yeah, I
crazy.
had some scary experiences in New York when I went there, but
I've never been.
yeah, it's great. New York is special as well, but it has that kind of crazy energy. And I think I'm going to get an apartment in Bangkok again soon. Actually, we've been talking about it. I live in Phuket now. I kind of came here to escape COVID because Bangkok was really boring because everything was locked down, and then but 3 years at the beach is enough. I'm a city boy. I need that creative energy, like just that entropy, because
Yeah.
I think that's what makes interesting things happen, right? Without entropy, you have nothing. And where I am now, there's a little bit of entropy, and you meet some people. But Bangkok, you have this real crazy entropy where there's just so much happening, and then you have more permutations for interesting constellations to kind of occur, right? And I love that about Bangkok. It's really,
Yeah, I haven't been there
yeah,
in so long. I miss visiting.
yeah, you got to come visit again, man.
Yeah, my
I'll
favorite thing
take
is
you
just getting
around.
a massage every day or twice a day. It's so cheap.
I got a massage 15 minutes before this
Ah,
call.
yeah,
So
it's so nice. It's crazy. I don't really miss much from back home. Like, obviously, like I don't even miss family that much, right? Because they come visit so much here. So for me, the only thing I miss is like not visiting. Like it's basically like Norwegian 7-Eleven. That's like the only thing I really miss.
like the 10 kroner sausage.
Yeah, like the hot dogs are so good. The like cinnamon buns that I probably shouldn't eat anymore because I'm like my stomach. But yeah, it's so nice. Like, because like hot dogs here in the UK are like the British just don't do food well. It's so bad. It's miserable. But yeah, no, I miss that.
There's a lot of puddings and pies, right?
Yeah, I'm not a big pudding or pie or bean fan, so yeah, or like and blood pudding and stuff. Ugh.
Yeah, there's some weird
Yeah,
stuff over there.
weird. But yeah, I'll start taking some questions from the sheet. We're starting off with an easy one by Dexterity Jones. Tacos or burritos?
Burritos, definitely burritos. They're easier to eat.
Yeah.
Um, they're tacos is just I don't know who invented tacos, but they're terrible. It's like it's having a plate that breaks when you put food on it.
See, Mexicans all over the world are crying right now because like they don't like the Mexican tacos. They're wraps. They don't break,
Oh,
right? The
soft
soft,
tacos. Yeah.
yeah, the hard shell tacos. I think that's like an American invention. How does it feel to be related to such a god gamer? I like this guy.
Um, well, I'm proud of you. I got to say that. I remember many years ago when you called me up and it was like I have to become a gamer. I don't want to have a normal job, and I'm gonna just make money playing games. And I was like, do it. I think I was supportive.
You are.
Uh,
You
and
you were supportive of anything I wanted to do though.
true, but I mean that's a brother's job, right? I mean, and but you did it, and you did it so well, and it shows. First of all, that you can, perseverance. You've just been going at it nonstop, and I'm extremely proud of what you've achieved. So
Sweet.
so yeah, I'm honored to be related to you.
That's sweet. I remember a really cute story when I was really lost and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I was like brainstorming with my brother, and he was like, "Well, you're very like creative and funny at like coming up with ideas. So if you come up with ideas for like a comic and stuff like that," he said he would draw them for me and like do it, and I just had to come up with like the concept and like the text. And I obviously didn't end up doing that, but he was like always very supportive no matter what I wanted to do.
Yay! I love you.
I love you too, bro. The next question is juxtaposed by the previous one. Decrescent asks, "What was the most annoying thing about having Sis as a brother?"
Oh, you were a menace when you were like, I would say like 2 to 4 years old. You were like a horrible person.
Until I was
So
18, but
you were like, yeah, like you would go like Super Saiyan. You just kind of destroy everything. Like you wouldn't just get mad. You would just start breaking everything. And you were strong, and you just wouldn't stop. You would literally like destroy the room, like full on Rolling Stones. And the only way to kind of like manage you was to just sit on you until you calm down.
yeah,
And
I have claustrophobia from that now.
so I would just sit on you until you calm down because that was the only thing. Because of course I was, as the older brother, I had to babysit you all the time, and I had to deal with this kind of rage ball of a kid. And so you've come a long way with your emotional regulation, by the way.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, you were completely nuts. I think one time I sat on you a little bit too hard and you puked. I felt really
No,
bad. But hey, that
you
was the only way to manage you.
you are remembering correctly, but that was when you came home from Australia, and you hugged me so hard that I threw up,
That was yeah. I think that
and
also
then you
happened.
cleaned it.
Yeah.
That was nice though. That was sweet. Yeah, no, I was a really horrible kid. Honestly, I feel like I was a pretty horrible kid until I was like 18. I think moving out helped a lot for me.
Yeah, you've grown up a lot since then.
Yeah, no,
I think
I'm a very different person. I mean, I remember, so it was over like a 2 year period. I remember it was when I was 17 or 18 or around there. I went to Thailand. Maybe I was 16 or 17. I don't know. I went to Thailand,
I remember.
and my brother hated it. Like I was miserable the entire time. I was complaining. I was with my parents as well. I was just complaining. I was a complete bitch. I basically like was just a huge downer the entire holiday. And then I went again maybe a year later or 2 years later, and I'd lived away for a year. And I remember my brother was like, "Can you stay longer? Can like we postpone your flight?" And we did. And I ended up, so it was just me and my brother. And I think I stayed for 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. It was pretty long.
We had so much fun. I still have all these photos from back that time. That was really cool.
It was really nice. And then he took me to that like orphanage in the middle of the jungle.
Hmm.
And there were fucking cobras at the orphanage. There's like 100 kids there. We like helped out for a while, and there were literally cobras at the orphanage. And my brother was like, "Yeah, that's normal. They're used to it." And there was a huge spider. We were in like this like jungle hut that we were staying in. This wasn't at the orphanage. But there was a huge spider, and it had been under the toilet seat while my brother was on the toilet. He put it up, and then like he lifted the toilet seat and then did a little scream, and he was like, "Holy shit, there was a spider on the toilet while I was using it." And then
Like a,
yeah, it was pretty big, remember?
mhm.
And first he tried showering it down with the shower, because it was like a shower head in the same room as the toilet. And that just made it angry, and it like charged at us, and we just threw shoes at it until it died. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, yeah. Nature is tough. Yeah, those 6 meter cobras are pretty nasty as well.
Yeah,
We
it's
have
just
smaller cobras here in Phuket, but up there you have the 5 6 meter cobras. They're generally not aggressive, but they're also kind of the size of a car, so it's a bit scary.
I think I picked a better place to live. Like, you get a lot more rain and less weather, but
Yeah, but
nothing
very
scary
few
here.
people die from. I think nobody dies from spider bites here, and snake bites are rare. I see a snake every 2 months, and it's usually pretty friendly.
That's crazy. Your Pants is asking, how was this as a kid?
Yeah, I think when you were really young, you were yeah, we thought you would like become like this kind of bully kid because you're always kind of you're pretty sort of very strong-willed and had some issues regulating your emotions. Um, but when you grew up, you became more like a little bit nerdy, like a gamer kid. So I think you kind of started your gaming path quite early. I guess I got you hooked on computer games
You
pretty
did.
early on. I think I'll take some of the credit for that.
Oh,
It was a
definitely.
good.
Do you remember the first game you made me play?
Was it? Oh, what was that kind of the space shooter, right? I can't remember the
That was the
name.
second game you made me play, Orion.
Oh yeah, Ryan, right?
Orion was the
Was that the
second game.
second
Do you
one?
remember the first one? Real-time strategy game?
Oh, Red Alert or something?
Oh, wasn't out yet.
No.
Dune, Battle
Oh,
for Arrakis.
wow. That was That was before Red Alert, right?
Yeah. The first RTS ever made, I think. Not
Wow,
100% sure on that, but pretty early at least. Yeah, that
that's
was.
pretty. They're pretty good games, actually.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I would always be so nervous to go in the desert area because the ground would shake and it's like worm sign detected.
Mm.
It was very fun.
Yeah, no, that was good times. Yeah, RTSs have they gotten a little bit better,
Yeah.
but those games are good.
So I think the next question, I suspect this is just my brother who has asked this. I think he's just made accounts and asked himself some questions. But Ziggy Piggy is asking, how does it feel to be the pretty one?
Ooh, ooh. Um, yeah, we're all extremely beautiful people, so it's hard to compare. Uh, but it's that's just the way nature created us. Uh, but I think it's you know can't put one beauty against another beauty. That's just two beauties.
Oh shit, he's the pretty one, he's the smart one, he's the humble one. I got all the bad qualities. Yeah, no, it's like I showed you off like a few days ago on stream, and they're like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "I know." They're like, nobody believes we're related though. Everyone's like, "One of you were adopted," and then I
Yeah,
show the picture of me and dad, and they're like, "Oh yeah, your brother's adopted."
yeah.
Uh,
No, you're kind of like a carbon copy.
yeah, like pasted.
Like
It's
if you did
crazy.
like the app to age you, you just like look exactly like my dad. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, literally. Blitz is asking, how many times has Ziz attempted to pull you into Path of Exile?
um, I think a few times you even gave me some items. I think at least a couple of times.
No, I didn't.
Uh, huh?
No, I didn't.
I Yeah, you gave me some items
I
once.
definitely didn't.
No,
No. You did everything on
I
your own. You got up to Mervale.
yeah, I did it once. I played it once, and then I thought we were gonna play it again. Maybe you didn't give me some items. Maybe I'm kind of remembering that wrong. But
No, that's like the
anyway,
worst thing you can do. Like the main thing is like progressing yourself.
right. But yeah, I tried it. The problem with me and Path of Exile is that I feel like I'm doing like cocaine. Like it's triggering way too much dopamine. I'm literally like clicking like all the time like this, and it's an extremely rapid game, and I
Yeah.
literally feel I can't sleep if I do it.
Wow.
Like it's like for me, this like doing. There's some games I just can't play anymore. Like it just triggers too much dopamine, and then I feel wired.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be on drugs. So like I don't want to feel like I can't sleep at night. I like to sleep. So I think
That's
Path
fair.
of Exile is one of those games that is just too fast paced, too much clicking.
It goes pretty hard.
Mm. And I think when I was younger, I enjoyed these games a lot. But I think after I turned like 35, it just messes with my sleep. You get older, you get a bit more sensitive, and I think it's just creating way too much dopamine.
I feel that. I feel that.
Do you never
Yeah.
have that problem? Did it just like you get too wired playing it?
No, not really. But I'm like, I was like borderline born to play video games. The fact that I was doing some rough maths on everything I played. Obviously, like to even make this possible, I basically skipped 60% of school stayed home a lot, and I was getting bullied too, right? So I was like, do I want to go to school and get bullied, or do I want to stay home and play video games where people are nice to me? So I stayed home a large amount. I was doing some quick maths on just like even the largest games I've played, because most of them have like slash played features. And by adding most things together, it's between 100,000 hours and 130,000 hours in gaming. Um, and it's, you know, it's pretty much the only thing I've gone and done my entire life. Like Path of Exile alone is 25,000 hours. It just hit, it's either 18 or 19,000 hours streamed. So it's like, it's pretty crazy. It's always really fun to me because like sometimes on Twitter, normal people will discuss like, wow, do you know there's people that have over 1,000 hours in one video game? And I'll be like, hold my beer, bro. Like, I don't know if it's something to be proud of, but I kind of am, obviously. So it's very funny.
Well, I guess you're pretty good at it by now. So,
Should be,
how
hopefully.
how many times have you completed the game?
Well, that's the thing, right? You don't really complete Path of Exile. It's more about like farming to get better gear to farm faster, and then you're trying out different builds, etc. Like you don't really complete it in like, oh, I'm done now. Just when you've gotten what you want out of it. I've like done everything in the game except deep delving, like a infinite dungeon.
Okay.
The next
Uh,
question is a perfect follow up to the last one. I didn't even arrange these. Scientist asks, does he play games? So talk a little bit about like what type of games and stuff you play.
um, I play a little bit, and I recently played the new like Zelda, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, I do play a bit of World of Tanks. I have been known to play a little bit of Civilization as well. So I kind of like the more slower games that are, you know, a little bit more strategic, a little less clicking. Um,
Especially at your age, that makes sense.
yeah. Thanks, but your reflexes definitely go down.
Absolutely.
I did play some Deathloop this year as well. I really enjoyed Deathloop. I thought that was like just a funny, fun first-person shooter.
Cool.
Uh, really well made. Really enjoyed Deathloop.
I remember one of my favorite moments gaming with you when I was a little. I don't remember how old I was. I'd say I was anywhere between like 5 and 9. And you were playing a lot of Half-Life on multiplayer. So you were playing it online against people. And I remember like coming into your room like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., something like that. Our parents were sleeping. And you'd let me watch. And what he would do was so sweet. He would find, because I wasn't very good at games back then, and I didn't really know how to play that much. I must have been closer to 6, I think. But what he would do is he would get the rocket launcher on the Half-Life map, and then he would let me take over because that was a lot easier to hit with. So he would just go find the rocket launcher and then let me play. It was very sweet, very nice thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, good times. Half-Life was
very.
pretty amazing for its time. I mean, that was like groundbreaking.
It was such a good
And
game.
also Counter Strike as well. God,
Yeah,
played many hours of Counter Strike.
yeah.
That was like back to when, you know, computer games was just for fun.
Arvanel is asking, everybody's asking random question and nobody asks, how are you?
Oh, um, I'm good. Thanks for asking. You know, I think I have a pretty good life. With been blessed with some good people in it. Um, I have a great family. You know, I think I can't complain.
Yeah, we were very lucky with our parents. They come visit both of us like several times a year, so they do a lot of traveling. Weird Robin is asking, to your brother, do you see yourself as the trainer for Sis to become a god gamer?
Um, I might have planted the seed. I
Definitely.
think I'm more like the instigator, um, and like a very early mentor. You know, and you know, I'll probably get a honorable mention in your
Oh,
biography one
absolutely.
day. But I wouldn't say trainer. I think you're pretty self-sustained once I kind of got you up and running, and you know, it didn't take very long for you to catch on. I think you were born for this.
Yeah, I mean, you helped me a lot early on, especially with like setting up PCs and stuff. I remember one time coming home from school, I got sent home early because we got like half the day off or something, and it was my birthday, so it was 27th October. I was 13, 14, and they'd bought me a PC, and my brother, I think my brother got a discount. I think this was when you worked at HP or Packard Bell or something. I don't know. I don't know where you were working, but I'm pretty sure you helped get a discount somewhere. And he was setting up the PC when I got home, and that was like really cool. And they were like, "Wait, it's not ready yet. Why are you home?" So that was a fun thing to come home to. And I remember another thing: you overclocked my AMD Duron 800. I think it was like 600 something, and then you overclocked it to like 800 hertz with a pencil. And I was like,
Remember,
"Stop! You're ruining it!" And you were like, "No, I'm making it faster."
that was like a trick,
Yeah,
but it
that
worked.
was, yeah, it did. I couldn't believe
It was
it.
like hacking with the pencil.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Just
like,
the- you somehow connected the with the graphite,
yeah,
and
you make a graphite bridge. Crazy.
200 times slower than our phones today, or
Yeah,
2,000 times probably.
it's pretty crazy. Like even phone games now, like obviously like whenever I'd play like a game that looks worse, people would ask like, "Oh, is this a mobile game?" And like that used to be like a bit of an insult, but like new games now on phones are pretty crazy. Like I hate phone games, but they're getting pretty impressive.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
the problem is I just can't see anything. Like,
Yeah, the
you know, this,
controls are so bad. I hate that. The next question is by Nicro, who's asking, "Would you punch Zizaran for $1,000?"
I mean, I'll give you like a, you know, it doesn't say how hard. So
No, I
yeah,
mean, I was sitting here
split it
hoping like,
50-50 and
please
I'll
say
punch you
yes.
some. Yeah, let's we would just share the money 50-50 and I'll give you like a gentle slap on the cheek and that's like
Yeah,
yeah, that's it.
yeah. I mean, it
I'm
doesn't
down.
even specify like base or anything. I've actually done this several times now. Like, the community manager came into my channel and she was like, "I'll give like 20 codes to give out to your stream if you rip." Like if you rip right now, I just made a new character, ripped it, and she was like, "Ah, okay." Here's another very important question. You might not be able to answer. This is a hard one. Yukon is asking, pancakes or waffles?
Ooh, waffles. Definitely. I mean, I think my nickname on Discord before was Waffle Ninja.
Oh
Waffle
my
Ninja.
god, we are
I'm
different.
huh?
We are different. I would do pancakes any day, every day.
Really?
Pancakes are better.
I even have a waffle maker here.
Oh my god.
I haven't actually used it, but I have one just in case.
That's why I married my wife. It's just she made me pancakes, literally.
Wow. Okay, I like pancakes as well, but I would say like I'm probably 70% waffle, 30% pancakes.
Wow. Oh, that's crazy. I'm like 10% waffles, 90% pancakes.
Ooh. All right.
The Frank Horrigan is asking, has anyone he knows recognized his streamer brother?
Yes, actually, like one of my friends does know who you are.
Oh,
Uh, my magician friend is a gamer, and he saw you online, and
that's crazy.
he knew who you were.
That's actually crazy. I think,
See, and this happened to another person as well. There was another person who was one of your. Remember that one guy I met was one of your first. Ah, yeah, I remember. It was a
yeah,
blockchain guy. He was one of your first paid uh
subscribers.
subscribers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I
So
remember that. That's a long time ago.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a small
yeah,
world.
yes. There's a few people. So your fame is kind of reaching my network, you know?
Pseudo, like micro famous, like loads of
Yeah, but it's
microcosms. It's actually, I think the craziest experience was my parents. So I wanted a Norwegian keyboard, and they were about to get here anyway. So I was like, "Could you go pick me one up?" Because I like the Norwegian layout. So I have the a o. And I quite like that. And they were like, "Yeah, we'll go pick you up." And they went to an electronics store and they were like asking around for the keyboards I'd asked about. And the guy there was like, "Oh, so is this for you?" And it's like, "Oh, they're for our son. He's a streamer." And they were like, the guy was like, "Wait, who's your son?" And they're like, "Oh, he's called Zizaran." And the guy like in Norwegian had been like, "You're Zizaran's parents?" And he like whipped out the phone. He was one of my followers. Like he watched me every day apparently. So that was like super. They were like, "What?" But that was obviously a very cool experience for me because when you're doing something like this, you sort of like, I don't know, it's harder to take serious than something else, right? Because it's like, well, how well is he doing really? But when somebody random in a shop recognized me, that was a cool experience for me. So I love that they had that experience. Saltitude is asking, do you like salty foods?
yeah, I like salty foods. Who does it?
True.
You can't just eat waffles. You need to mix it up with some salt. but not in
Oh.
the waffle, in separate foods.
Yeah, I love salty foods. The last time I salted my own dish, my wife looked at me and was like, "Here for a good time, not for a long time." Noovish Nerd asked, "When you were a kid, who was cooler?"
Um,
This is
well,
definitely you.
uh, well, you're kind of the yeah.
No, I was definitely you.
You're like the bigger nerd, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can do some story time here. It's actually quite hard growing up with my brother as the older brother in some ways because at everything he was like literally like the honor student kind of thing. And one of the teachers or the principal at the school held a speech at the end of the year when like his class was leaving, and it's like, oh, and there's one student we're going to miss more than any other student. It's of course Rune Kiprovic, and then he like starts like having this little speech about my brother and how awesome my brother was because he did loads of like initiatives, like started sport teams and things like that, and did loads of like community nights and shit like that. And then there's me, who's just bumbling through school, failing even the mock exams, like 50, 60% absence. And just like the only class that I got a high grade in was English. Everything else was like, how did you pass? Um, and the same thing, it's really funny. We both went to Queen's University, my brother in Brisbane and me in Belfast. But there as well, he was like honor student. I failed 2 or 3 years. So like he was just better. I'm like borderline retarded academically. Like I'm very slow with exams, very hard for me to learn things like that. So yeah, no, he definitely wins that one by a landslide.
Yeah, but I think the school system is a bit broken, you know. I think it's it really need to nurture, you know, different skills in people, and I think it's being school smart. I mean, I know a lot of successful people, and a lot of them was not that school smart.
Yeah.
Some of them are even, they have dyslexia or learning problems, but they're still really good at what they do, right? So I think
Yeah.
the school is, this machine that tries to sort people and place them in society, but I think that model is kind of, we don't have to just be like farmers and engineers and doctors and lawyers, anymore. I think it's the world has changed, and I think we live in a world now where you can really pursue your passion and skill sets, right? And I think the school system haven't really caught up with the world we live in.
I think that's
But
right.
but I know a lot of super successful people that did not do well in school.
The next question is by Lighter Arc or Lighter Sark. Lighter's Arc? I don't know. What was the most trouble you two got into when you were younger?
We didn't really get into trouble together. I was mainly policing you. I was kind of the babysitter most of the time. So I don't think we got into a lot of trouble.
I
Did
got a
we?
better memory than you. Um, I mean, we would like play fight a lot. I remember one time, I got in a water gun, and he said if I spray you with it, you'll throw me in the shower. Which obviously I had to spray him with it. Like that's an invitation at that point. He's a
That
man of
was.
his word. He put me in a cold shower. That was torture.
Oh,
And there was another time where he thought it'd be funny to disconnect my router. I must have been 17 or 16 at this point. He disconnected my router while I was playing and held the door shut. And I kicked down the door. Well, I was trying to. I obviously didn't kick down the door, but I did make a hole in the door. And our parents were gone. So we were like, fuck, what do we do? There's a literal hole on one side. Like I didn't kick through. So it's just like, you know, made a big like dent in the door. And we ended up buying a Boondock Saints poster and put it over there. And, we were just like really friendly when my parents came home and we showed them the poster and they're like, oh, that looks so nice. And it was my favorite movie, Boondock Saints. So they didn't think anything of it. We told them like 10 years later, it's like, by the way, there's a huge hole in that door.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see,
I
we
have
never got in
long-term memory.
because that was teamwork. We never got in any trouble. I think sort of.
Yeah, true. Tanik1996 is asking if Zizaran wasn't a streamer, what job would you see him doing? Ooh, that's a good question.
I'm not sure. I think you were just born to be a streamer. I can't really. What would you be doing?
I mean, it's a tough one. So like obviously like if I'd never been a streamer, it's very different, right? Because like now I have a lot of connections from people I've met working at other companies and stuff and things I've done through Twitch that I like would have some useful things to put on a CV so I could work for like companies like that or things where I
Sure.
already have connections. But if I'd never been a streamer, the top three things that I would like find the most interesting would be virology, which would require virology, like studying viruses and stuff.
Okay.
I think that's really fascinating, and I wouldn't want to be a doctor. I would want to be a researcher, if anything. Um, but I think that's really interesting, and advertisement. So still virology, making things go viral. That'd be really interesting. That's about it. Oh, actually, I would love to be an actor.
Yeah, I think you did really well. I think didn't you do a play like Peer Gynt and you did a university play, right? Or high
Yeah,
school?
so I went to Waldorf school, which, if you think they're kind of like weird and cult-like, they are. They are a little weird and cult-like. It's also called Stoner School, or it's by like Joseph Steiner or something. I don't know what his name is. But yeah, it's a private school, and the pros are the teachers do care more generally, so you do get more like customized attention, right? It's less like that's some of the upsides. It is like it's kind of weird, but they do genuinely care, which is nice. And you get more of like a custom experience than you would in the normal school where they try to like put you into a peg, right? And they had us like vote on our final year project, and everybody wanted to do theater, and they do things pretty big. So for my final year project, they rented out some of like Norway's like biggest celebrities to like coach us on how to manage a theater. And one person that like does the professional theaters, it's something called like Black Box in Oslo, and it's like a big theater with like 300, 400 people watching. We did
Mhm.
proper theater, and we sold tickets and raised money and stuff. So that was a really cool experience, and I was one of the main character. It was divided. It was such a long role. It was a 3 hour play or 2 hour play. It was divided into eight guys, and I actually only auditioned because this girl that I had a huge crush on was like, "Hey, we really need male actors. Like, there's like almost only girls signing up, and we need a lot of guys. So it'd be great if you signed up." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." But I was so nervous that even while auditioning, and this was just in front of like 5 people, I had like so bad stage fright. I had to put the 4 pages or 3 pages for the audition between my fingers before going in because I was shaking so hard that I couldn't turn the page. So
Wow.
that was nerve wracking. Crazy.
But you did well, right?
Yeah, I got over my stage fright for that. And yeah, it was really fun. Great experience.
And now you seem pretty comfortable in front of a crowd, so
Yeah, I mean, the biggest now that I've been in front of people in real life was probably like 1,000 or 2,000 people at TwitchCon because I had one of the stage presentations at a thing there. But that was
mhm.
fine. So that was, yeah, you get over it quickly. By Devoria, do you watch Ziz's stream sometime?
I do. I have checked in a few times. It's usually fun. I'm kind of known as this bro. Uh, yeah, no, it's fun. I do check in.
Rifo is asking, what does he do for work? So, I mean, you can talk a little bit more about it, like what you do and stuff with the companies.
Yeah, so we have a company we kind of built around crowdfunding. So we had the Air Deck, which was like the ultimate travel playing cards. That was our first product, and then we created the Nano Bag, which is the ultimate reusable shopping bag. And then we kind of used Kickstarter to kind of kickstart our company, and from that now we have a company that kind of runs itself. Uh, so we're still building up the bag company. We're kind of focusing on that. Um, and I think my goal is to have an incubator where I take good ideas because we know we have the Kickstarter pipeline and we know how to kind of make things real. We have a network in China where we work, also around Asia. So I think sort of between knowing how to realize an idea and dealing with fulfillment and customers and production, I would like to take great ideas and make them real. And for now, we have our two own ideas, but long term, I'd love to have an incubator,
Yeah.
especially around impact, where we kind of focus on creating meaningful products that, replace crappier and environmental products. So I think the philosophy with what we do is, we want to be a plus sum game for the environment. We want to be a good citizen, so we basically plant trees with every products we make.
Wow,
So we're at least 10 times carbon positive,
that's good.
and we're just trying to be better than others in terms of environment and kind of factor that in. And personally, I'd love to take this company more in an impact direction, focus on making things from rice husk or taking waste and make it into great products, because the way we kind of consume resources is completely insane, and I want to see if we can kind of do something that pushes things in the right direction and try and create a machine for good. So I think that's
awesome.
what I want to do long term. You need to believe in what you do,
Oh, absolutely. The Frank Horrigan is asking, what is a perfect family day for your brother?
Well, I just have a girlfriend, so I don't have children. So, but of course, my parents comes twice a year, so that's nice. So we'll hang out. So a perfect family day. Yeah, I guess it's just bringing the whole family together. I think it's we've done it a few times the last few years. So it's always nice to get everyone together, because we don't meet that often, right? Especially all of
Yeah,
us.
the last time was my wedding.
So I think it doesn't really matter what we do, but the times we do get together, it's always great.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm.
He has another question. What is the top 3 life advice?
I would say the most important is finding something you're really passionate about, because you will be better at that. And then you'll become really good at it. As long as you're passionate about something, you will become good at it. I think you're the perfect example, but I think the most important thing for being good at something is just wanting to do that, and then just you practice, and then you put in 10,000 hours, and then you're the best.
Yeah.
I would say, in terms of picking a girlfriend, find someone that brings out the best in you. uh, I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
Someone who makes you a better person. Yeah, life is not just about money. I think it's really about, doing something you're passionate about. I think the only meaningful thing I can think of in my life is the connection I have with the people around me, with my friends, with my communities that I'm a part of, and with my family. And I really treasure that. Everything else is just logistics. But I think you know, focus on growing real, meaningful connections with the people in your life, and then everything else kind of works itself out.
That's great. I think that's really good advice. Dookie is asking, what is your biggest pet peeve about Ziz?
I don't know. I don't think we hang out enough for you to
Yeah.
annoy me anymore. I can't
I was
remember.
just thinking that. I was like, it's hard to have that when you live so far apart, because anything that's going to annoy you about someone usually happens like more over time. It's not something
Yeah,
that when you only hang out for a few weeks every year or something.
and he kind of stopped kind of trashing the room. So it's he's
Yeah,
been
that was
on
a
pretty good.
menace.
Yeah,
Oh, Race Dead is asking, what is your favorite thing about Ziz?
I think he's an amazing brother. Like he's kind, he's caring, and I think we're pretty good at keeping in touch these days. I think I love my favorite thing about him is that he really cares, and I see you do this with the people around you. I see you're building community. You're bringing gamers together, and I see how you love to empower other people. And I've seen you be generous so many times, whether it's through like waiters or your family. I love that about you. You got a great soul, and I love you for that.
Thank you. That's so sweet. I'm like tearing up. Very serious question next. Better not get this one wrong, or I'll probably end the call actually. So, scary one.
Uh-oh.
Patty G is asking, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Not a big fan. I can do it, but I'm not a huge fan.
Nice. Good. I hate
It
it.
was
Oh,
like 3.5 out of 10.
I raise it like 1 out of 10. Ooh, Lightning Pantera is asking, if you had to fill in for you for one stream, what would you do?
What would I play? Um, I'm pretty decent at World of Tanks, but I think it's not. Yeah, I'm pretty terrible at Path of Exile. So
People would love
that would be
that.
like I could be like you know, noob, noob content.
Honestly, we should do that sometime.
Sure.
Trivor is asking, what are the best TV shows that you recommend?
I haven't been watching that much TV
I was
lately.
thinking that.
Um, yeah, what could I recommend on TV? I really have to think about that. Did I watch something good lately? TV, I haven't gotten into series for a long time. Um, yeah, I think during COVID I actually watched quite a bit of TV, but lately I almost never watch TV.
Yeah, I don't watch
I
much
kind
TV myself, so.
yeah, what do you watch?
Only thing okay, so I just rewatched House when I was kind of sick. And then I've been watching Witcher now. I usually do it while working on other stuff. I don't know. I don't really watch much TV, to be
Mm.
honest. Like the like last show that I really watched a lot was like Game of Thrones when that was a thing.
Yeah, it's too violent for me. I can't really do violent TV. It's you know, I
God,
tried
you really
watching
are our mom.
I'm sensitive, you know. You know, it really affects my dreams and everything. So I
How?
think I kind of enjoyed Breaking Bad, but then I
Oh, that's
kept
good.
having all morbid dreams, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a sensitive soul.
That's fair.
Um,
I love the next question. It's by Brody. How did he react when he found out that he will be a big brother?
I think I didn't. I mean, I was so. I think the first reaction was like, "Why?" I was like, you know, "Oh my God, I'm gonna get a brother," and I'm like, so I wasn't a big fan. But then I think once he was born, it was pretty okay. I mean, it was great. Like, you know, you were kind of cute as a baby, so you know, you got a lot of girls' attention. And I was like, okay, this is cool. I can, you know, this is not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, I
But then
pigman you pretty hard.
you had like a year where you were like really cute
A
before you
year.
kind of ended with a terrible, the terrible twos and onwards.
Yeah. I mean, you even chose my name. You could tell them that.
Yeah, I got the honor of choosing your name, and I kind of named
Mm.
you after my best friend's brother, uh, which was also named Shetu. Um, I guess I just thought it was a cool name.
Well, that's not entirely true. You didn't get the honor of naming me. My parents were kind of struggling to agree on the name. My dad wanted me to be called Paul Marius, which is a strange name. And my mom wanted me to be called David because it's a very international name, and she figured the world was turning more global, so it'd be good for people to be easier able to pronounce my name. Or David
Mhm.
or Daniel, I can't remember, but one of those. And then my brother, according to my parents, said he's not going to be my brother unless he's named Chetu. So you
Oh
just
wow,
like settled it. Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
Now, I'm pretty sure the guy I'm named after killed himself, right?
No, no, actually, you were named. That was another Shetu.
Oh, okay.
So I actually kind of named you after the my best friend's younger brother.
Okay.
Uh, he was kind of cool.
All right.
And then yeah, there was another Shetin too, and he unfortunately killed himself.
In Search of Glory says, if you could say one thing and the entire world hears it, what would it be?
Mm, be kind
That's so different from me.
and you know, love each other, take care of each other. I think the world needs a bit more love and caring. Um, think of everyone as a potential new best friend. I think you know everyone we know in this life. They started, you know, we started out with a handshake or something, and I think there's a lot of cool people out there. And I think if we at least assume, I mean, there's also shitty people out there, but I think you know if we assume everyone else is pretty cool, you'll probably meet more people. You'll probably have more meaningful relationships with them, and you know, then I think that's you know what life's about.
It's very different. My answer would be they're coming or a countdown. That would be like,
They're coming for sure. It's in the news now. It's kind of funny. The whole UFO thing is kind of getting on mainstream news. It's fun.
Salt32 is asking, what's your fondest memory of Ziz?
Mm, I think when you came to visit me in Bangkok, I think that was a great time. I think because we didn't, I left Norway when you're quite young to study, and I think that was like one of the few times as adults we got to spend like a really solid people time together and get to know each other as adults. I think that was really special,
Yeah.
and uh, and I think that really helped us bond and I think we're still close, and I think that played a big part of it, right?
I absolutely agree. 100%. Oblivion to Abyss is asking, at what point did he realize Ziz was better at video games than him?
Yeah, I think that we peaked at different times. I would say that I was an avid gamer when I was like in my teens. I would play like crazy, and I was pretty good. But
Very
then
nice.
I think when I went to university, I didn't even have games on my computer. Like I was
Yeah.
super social, and I kind of stopped gaming completely. So I think I kind of we kind of peaked at different times. So I you know you're from that time onwards, you were definitely a lot better gamer than I was.
Yeah, I just never stopped. I
Mm.
just always kept gaming, so there wasn't like, yeah, much to do. Like I in uni as well. I mean, that's kind of why I failed uni, because I was playing like World of Warcraft so much and
But it
Eve.
paid off. Like the
It
best
did.
education.
It did absolutely. I mean, I was always joking like, "Oh, I'm just studying for my future job."
When did
Uh,
you know you're going to be a gamer?
I think I think when I really started pushing for it was probably when I was like between 19 and 22. Um, and I knew I was pretty decent, but I became one of the best Heroes of New Earth players, PC child. I think I had like 2000 MMR. I just can't remember because I always mix it with Dota. I just remember it's like really, really high. Not like the actual pro players high, but like close enough that it was like I got on a semi-pro team. We got sponsored. That was like a big thing for me. Like once I was good enough to get sponsored to play, I was like, okay, well, I can't be that bad. And
Mm.
what my favorite gaming moment, I was in something called a Neva tournament, which if we would have qualified, they would have flown us out to America. We didn't qualify, and the literal first round, we were up against the best team in the world at the time, called Load, and that was the player I was the biggest fan of. It was a player called Chu8, and I was our mid player, and he was their mid player. And our team, they were just joking. They were like, "Okay, what are we gonna do? We're up against Load. We can't win. We literally can't win." And they were like, PC Child, what do you want to do? And I picked like a really weird hero. I did Slither mid in a tournament, and nobody did that at the time at all. And Chu was Corrupted Disciple. And my friend, who's my neighbor at the moment, Shane, he played Tempest or Andromeda. No, I think it was Andromeda in that game and Tempest in the next one. And yeah, I managed to beat Chu mid. And it's like my biggest gaming accomplishment because he was like my literal hero. So it's such a big achievement for me. And after that, I was like, okay, maybe I can do something. So ever since then, I really wanted to do content creation and stuff. But my parents were like, yeah, you have to study, like, or your life is basically over.
But they're semi supportive, right?
They were very supportive as soon as I finished studying. They were like, you need to finish studying before you do this. Um, and I wasn't like living at home or anything, but when I finished studying, I had enough money for like 6 months or something before I would need like help from my parents or anything like that. And because you get like pretty big loans in Norway, and I didn't use a lot of the loan, and a lot of it gets turned into a grant when you graduate. So that was like obviously very useful for me. And yeah, they were very supportive, but they were like, yeah, once you're finished, you can try it and see if it works for you.
How long before you started making money?
Um, so I got partnered after 8 weeks or less, which is very fast back then. Because officially the requirements to get partnered when I did was you were supposed to have 800 concurrent viewers. I had around 300 after 8 weeks. and so they were already like stepping down the requirements, so they just stepped it down for me like a week or two ahead of the official step down anyway. So that was useful. I got partnered then, and then honestly, it was around the 6 month mark that I got very lucky, and two of my big early donators, CRA and True Kryptonic. I like never talked about like finances on stream or anything like that, and they both got into like a donation war, and then later on Dark Rail joined, and they were all like trying to. My stream was kind of blowing up, and they were like trying to donate, which used to be a bigger thing back then on Twitch, to see who could be the top donator, and that made me able to like not have to borrow money or anything like that. So that
Wow,
was very lucky. So I'd say around 6 months I got pretty self-sufficient.
cool.
Yeah, that was a crazy journey. Well, the next question is fairly relevant. Um, and it's also the last question. What was his reaction when you first mentioned streaming as a career?
I think I was supportive. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I was like, "Go for it." I think.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever.
Yeah, you've always been very, very supportive of like just anything I wanted to do. Very good older brother. The only thing you didn't do was beat up my bullies. That was like devastating to me.
Yeah. Well, I did protect you a few times, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. But you never beat them up. I always like,
Yeah.
because I was getting bullied pretty hardcore.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's not fun. Like,
Yeah,
I guess it's
kids.
still happening in schools, but when we grew up, like, there was a lot of bullying, and both of us were quite small, so in
Yeah.
size for Norwegians, so we were kind of like the punching bags. But
Yeah.
I think I managed to protect you at least a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'd always stay close to you when I was outside.
Kids can be shitty.
Yeah. I got put in like a bin once and then rolled down a hill. That sucked.
I used to do that for fun.
It's not that fun. It was a big hill.
Okay, all right. Yeah, there's not much to do where we grew up, so sometimes you do these.
Yeah. Little place in Norway called Button Village. Stop.
Yeah, no, I
But
couldn't wait to get out of there and experience the world. I always knew there was a lot more to the world than the small place we grew up in, and I was like, I got to get out of here.
yeah. And we
That
both
was,
did.
yep.
I remember my
And we,
parents were despairing, or our parents, because they were like, "What are we doing wrong? All our children are leaving."
yeah, but I think we have a good relationship with our parents. They come and see me once, twice a year. They come and see all the time.
Yeah, yeah, we're very
I,
lucky.
but I think they were supportive, and I think they didn't force me to stay home. I think we were pretty lucky that they're let us go and
Yeah,
experiences, and we've had some amazing experiences, both of us, right?
yeah, we got into trouble a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I know we've definitely been exposed to a lot growing up, and
Yeah, it's very nice.
it's great. It's you learn a lot. I think you learn a lot more from people that are different from you than people that are just like you, right? So
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think that's the great thing when you travel is that you get exposed to new ideas and new people, and you can learn so much, and you learn a lot about yourself, right? Because you'll get everything challenged, and you see different ways of doing things, and then yeah, you're going to learn something. It'll probably do something to who you are as well.
Absolutely. That was all the questions that we had. It was really nice. It was actually longer than I thought. I was just gonna do this for like 20, 30 minutes, but we're at an hour and 10 minutes minus
Oh,
editing and
really?
whatever scripting. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow,
So
it didn't feel that long.
yeah. No, I love our talks. It's really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
Great.
We'll end the video there. I mean, we can like keep talking afterwards, but I hope you guys enjoy the interview with my brother, my big brother. I swear we're related. And yeah, thank you again so much for joining me. And yeah, if you guys like the video, follow, subscribe, whatever. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. But more importantly, try to die less than I do.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you for being here.